Alaikum guys, here is a video of me asking ChatGPT about the questions of shirk. What is shirk? All these Salafi arguments and the other side, everyone arguing about shirk is tawassul, istighasa, all those things. Asking other than Allah for help. So I thought let me ask ChatGPT to about this. I just wanted to use this. Okay, so anyway, let's go through the interactions I had. So let's start with the conversation. So I said, okay, hello bro. Yeah, how is it going? So here's the question. So I told him this is the instruction. I will give you a definition of something. Then I will provide a case afterwards. I need you to make a judgment if that case meets the definition or not. Look at the specific instruction I gave it, okay? And you see how this ChatGPT, it didn't follow my instructions, so I had to tell it again. But anyway, I just told him this. So he said, sure, I'd be happy to help and go ahead and provide the definition and the case, and I'll make a judgment based on the information you provide. Okay. So the first case I said, okay, I gave a definition of shirk. Shirk, there are many sides of shirk, okay? So, but this particular one is about asking other than Allah for help, okay? So I said shirk is to ask for help from someone other than Allah. Whoever does this is a mushrik. So this is the case. Ahmed asked his friend for help. Is Ahmed a mushrik? Look at the instruction. If you want to, okay, wait. Pay attention. I have many other prompts that I asked it, but this is the first case. I just want to prove a point with this kind of questions I'm asking it. You might be like, oh, this is not the right definition. Just wait. Okay, so the case I gave now, Ahmed is asking his friend for help. So what did ChatGPT say? Say, based on the provided definition of shirk, which is to ask for help from someone other than Allah, and considering that a mushrik is someone who commits shirk, the case can be analyzed as follows. Okay, so he said, 1. The definition implies that any form of asking for help from any being other than Allah is considered shirk. In the case, Ahmed asked his friend for help. Okay, so then ChatGPT started going off and telling me about in many Islamic interpretation of Islam, asking for help from others in everyday matters like needy assistance with tasks, seeking advice is generally not considered shirk. So he's answering a question I didn't ask him. I didn't ask him about this. I know why I gave him this particular kind of question. There's a reason why I'm asking this, but he's too smart. He's too smart for himself. He's Sheikh ChatGPT. So he said shirk is typically understood to involve associating partners with Allah in worship or supplicating to others as one would to Allah, rather than simply asking assistance from another human being. So you see, so it's talking about things that, okay, what is the meaning of associating partners? Okay, or supplicating to others. Many people in this argument that we are having in the Sunni paradigm, they will obviously not believe that they are associating any partners with Allah. I don't think, even the ones going to the grave, they don't think they're associating partners with Allah or supplicating to others as they would to Allah. They are not doing that. They're not doing that as they would to Allah. No. So it's a question of intercession and all those things. Okay. But it goes further. It says, therefore, based on common theological interpretation, Ahmed asking his friend for help will not make him a mushrik, as this action does not necessarily fall under the category of associating partners with Allah in worship or supplication. However, interpretations can vary. So, in a way, he gave me questions that I didn't ask him or something like that. So I wanted to change it a bit. I wanted to use names that is not for Allah. Like this Olorun is a Yoruba term for God. So I wanted to ask in a different way so that ChatGPT will not know why I'm asking in this particular way, because I didn't want this kind of answer. I wanted him to stay strict to the definition. So this is what he said. So I changed the name of Ahmed to Kala. I changed the name of Shirk to Kala. So I said Kala is to ask for help from other than Olorun. Whoever does this is Olosha. Olosha is like a polytheist in my language. So I now give it a case that Ahmed asked his friend for help. It's Ahmed Olosha. But he still gave me the same answer because he's using the context of the question I asked before. So he's basically giving me the same answer again. Okay, so I didn't want this. So I had to okay, let's move on. So I changed the definition of shirk a little bit. So I said that the definition of shirk now is this. Shirk is to ask for help from someone other than Allah, believing that they can help without Allah. Whoever does this is a mushrik. Okay. Then I gave a case of Ahmed asked his friend for help, believing that he could help without Allah. So I said, is Ahmed a mushrik? Now look at the answer. He said, based on the provided definition of shirk, which is to ask for help from someone other than Allah, believing that they can help without Allah, the case can be analyzed as follows. So he said, shirk involves asking for help from someone other than Allah and believing that they can help independently of Allah. In the case, Ahmed asked his friend for help, believing that he could help without Allah. Given this definition, Ahmed's belief that his friend could help without the involvement of Allah fits the criteria for shirk. Therefore, according to the provided definition, Ahmed will be considered a mushrik because he believes that his friend can provide help independently of Allah. You see, so you can begin to what am I saying? You can begin to see if you don't add this part of it. That was why I was asking that kind of question, and it will even get more explicit later. If you don't add this part of believing that they can help without Allah, anything can be considered as what's it called? It can be shirk if you do that. If you do this, believing that someone that can help you without Allah, it is shirk. Do you understand? But if you do it without this belief, that's the next question I now asked. Now, in this second case, I now said, believing that they can help. Okay, where's now? In this second case, I said, believing that he could help only with Allah. You see, when I asked him this question, is Ahmed now a mushrik? See the judgment he gave me. Since Ahmed believes that his friend can help only with Allah's assistance, it does not meet the definition of shirk provided. Therefore, according to this definition, Ahmed is not a mushrik because he acknowledges that any help his friend provides is ultimately dependent on Allah. If you believe this, you cannot be a mushrik. And most Muslims, they believe this. Even those ones you see them going to grave and all those things that you think they are mushriks, they are not doing that. They believe any help, anything those people are going to do is only with Allah's assistance and His help. Ultimately be dependent on Allah because they believe in La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That's the general scholarly position of the other side. I'm not saying everybody that goes to the grave is normal and they will not do shirk or something. I'm saying the scholarly defense of that position. This is what is on. It hinges on these conditions. Okay. So I now asked him another question of the points because I know this point I just proved it is, to me, is irrefutable. The second case now is when they start talking about the dead and the living. Like someone is dead and someone is alive. They start making a case about that. And I know this is problematic. So I said, but the friend in the case above is dead. So I tried to ask him this question, like, what if the friend is dead? Does this change the judgment based on the definition? So he said, given the updated context where the friend Ahmed asked for help is deceased, he now said, let's reconsider the judgment based on the definition. Okay, so based on that definition, he now gave me a case that Ahmed asked his deceased friend for help, believing that he could help only with Allah. He now said, in this context, a few additional considerations come into play. In many interpretations of Islamic teachings, he started answering questions I did not ask him again. Do you see? I'm not asking him what is the Islamic interpretation, what did all of them say? Because they have obviously differ. They are the ones arguing. I'm not asking him that question. I'm saying try to stick to the point. So him is trying to, you can read this if you want. He's trying to like tell me that they asked the dead, that's not the point. I know this issue. We can discuss that later. Okay. So he's saying even though Ahmed believed that his deceased friend can help only with Allah's assistance, the act can still be considered, might still be viewed by some. Of course, that's the point. We're arguing about this. So I told him this. I said, see, I am not asking you for what is taught traditionally. Can you remain strict to the definition provided in each case? So I told him, like, remain strict to the definition, bro. So he said this. Okay, so say, certainly, let's stick to the definition provided. So I told him to be strict. So look at what he said now. And I said, since Ahmed does not believe that his deceased friend can help independently of Allah, but rather with Allah's assistance, he does not meet the provided definition of shirk. Therefore, based on the strict definition, Ahmed is not a mushrik, even though he asked his deceased friend for help. Because being deceased or not is not part of the definition. Do you see why it's important? When we define shirk here, we do not put dead and alive there. You can do shirk whether the person is alive or is dead. You see, now you got the point and he answered the question correctly. Okay, so I said thanks for that. Okay, so then this is where it now gets I now went deeper into the questions again. Look at this now. I'm going to give a case that is accepted by all people. Everybody knows this case. It's not just Ahmed somewhere doing something. There are many cases, but I chose this one specifically. So I gave the definition of shirk again as the first basic one. Shirk is to ask for help from someone other than Allah. Whoever does this is a mushrik. Sulaiman asked the jinn to go and bring a throne for him. Okay, the Bilqis throne. Is Sulaiman a mushrik? ChatGPT is trying to be like, he knows who Sulaiman is and he doesn't want to answer the question the wrong way. Okay, so ChatGPT, he wants to tell me that, see, Sulaiman is, what's it called? He said, okay, he answered it correctly. He said, given the strict definition, asking anyone other than Allah for help constitutes shirk. So he's saying, anybody you ask for help, it doesn't matter. It's not Allah, it's shirk. Therefore, based strictly on this definition, Sulaiman will be considered a mushrik for asking the jinn to bring a throne. Okay, so he's saying this is a fact, but he now added this part that, however, it is important to note that within the broader context of Islamic teachings, Prophet Sulaiman is regarded as a prophet. Yeah, I know, of course. I'm not saying this, na'udzubillah. I'm not saying he's a mushrik. Of course, that's not my own position. I'm trying to show the ridiculousness of trying to define shirk as just asking other than Allah for help. That's the point of this question, but he doesn't know that. So I said, I know, just remain strict to the definitions. So he said, based on the definition, Sulaiman's action of asking the jinn for help and the call ilmul kitab, that the person that knows of the book that eventually did it, that act itself will be considered a shirk. Okay, so I now said, okay, and I asked him this question again. The shirk is to ask for help from someone other than Allah, believing that they could help without Allah. So I added this condition again, believing that they could help without Allah. So Sulaiman asked the jinn to bring a throne for him, believing that the jinn cannot help him except by Allah's power and will. You see, this is what Sulaiman alayhi salam believed in. When he was asking the jinn and those people, he believed that the jinn or whoever cannot help him do anything except by Allah's power and will. So I said, is Sulaiman a mushrik for doing this? Look at the answer. In this case, Sulaiman's belief that the jinn cannot help except by Allah's power or will aligns with the conditions specified in the definition. He does not believe that the jinn can help independently of Allah. Therefore, according to the strict definition provided, Sulaiman will not be considered a mushrik in this scenario. Simple. That is my point. Any other way people talk about this issue is always this kind of model talking about the dead and the living. That is not part of the definition. If shirk can be done when someone is alive, it doesn't matter whether they are dead or not. You can disagree with the going to the grave and all these things, but if somebody does not have this condition, look at how this condition changes everything. Believing that they could help without Allah. This is the condition for shirk. Whether you believe this or you don't believe it. If you believe you can get help from somebody without Allah, you're a mushrik, whether you are going to the grave or not. And if you don't believe that, you are not a mushrik, whether you are at the grave or not. Do you see? Whether the person is dead, alive, you're a phone, inanimate object, it doesn't matter. This is the main point. You have to understand La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And that's the position of the Asharis. Strict La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah to the occasionally sense even. So you can never, this kind of people can never be mushrik by that definition. Whatever definition you're bringing up will be something that is muddled, that is not clear, that we cannot understand. You'll be talking about the dead and the living when shirk can be done when someone is alive. So what's the point of bringing up the dead? It's irrelevant. So anyway, this is my question to ChatGPT. You can see, you can also try it yourself. You can try with this kind of prompts and make up your own, what's it called? You see the kind of answers it will give you. But ChatGPT will try to like give you answers that you are not asking for. But me, I wanted it to be strict. But if you let it just, what's it called? If you put your own conditions, let's say your definitions of shirk, put it here. Make sure you understand all the conditions and you put it there. And you will then ask a particular question for a particular case. And you will see what it will answer. It's as simple as that. So let me see what you guys think about this. See you guys. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.